The gym was always our thing. Ever since Nathan turned 16, he and I had been gym buddies. What began as a way for me to help him build confidence during his awkward teenage years had turned into a shared ritual. He was 23 now, stronger than me by a mile, but we still made time for our sessions. Twice a week, rain or shine. That Thursday evening was no different, or so I thought. We met outside Titan Fitness, same as usual. He wore that old grey hoodie he never seemed to part with, and I had my navy blue zip-up that had been with me since before he was born. Nathan flashed me a half-smile as I pulled into the parking lot. "Ready to get smoked, old man," he joked. "You wish," I replied with a smirk. "Remember who taught you everything?" The gym smelled like rubber mats, protein powder, and testosterone. The clang of metal echoed through the room as people grunted through representatives. Nathan and I started with some light cardio, joking and trading music recommendations. Then we shifted to weights. Bench press. Pull-downs. Rows. Nathan pushed harder than usual. I noticed it during our third round of squats. He added another 20 pounds to his bar without saying a word. "Sure you got that?" I asked, eyeing the plates. "I got it," he muttered and dropped into position. The bar trembled slightly as he pushed through representatives. He was strong, but something felt off. He wasn't joking between sets like he normally did. His face was more serious. His jaw was clenched. I thought maybe he was just focused. After the gym, we usually grabbed a quick protein shake or burger. Nathan always insisted on paying now that he had a full-time job. He'd just been promoted last month to assistant operations manager at a logistics company downtown. It was his first real taste of adult responsibility. That night, we drove in silence to a quiet burger joint nearby. The place had a homey, old-school vibe, booths lined with red leather, jukebox in the corner, and thick milkshakes that could double as dessert. Nathan sat across from me, staring into his water glass while I skimmed the menu. "You okay?" I finally asked. He looked up. His eyes weren't red, but they looked tired. Not physically. Emotionally. "Yeah," he said, then paused. "No. Not really." I put my menu down. "What's up?" Nathan leaned back and let out a slow breath. He seemed to be debating something inside his head, measuring every word before letting it out. Finally, he spoke. "I don't know how to say this without sounding weak." "You're never weak for being honest," I said. "Try me." He nodded. "I've been struggling, Dad. Like, really struggling." The word struggling hit me like a cold wave. Nathan was always the type to keep things bottled up, just like me at his age. We talked, sure, but there were always things he kept close to his chest. "Work's been rough," he continued. "The promotion came with more responsibility than I expected. Deadlines. Managing people older than me. Being the guy who has to make decisions when I'm not even sure I know what I'm doing. Some nights I lie awake, terrified I'm going to screw everything up." I listened, letting him speak without interrupting. "But it's more than just work. I've been feeling disconnected. Like I'm just going through the motions. Wake up, go to work, eat, sleep, gym. Repeat. And the worst part? I don't even know what I want anymore. Not just career-wise. Life-wise." His voice cracked slightly on that last line. I reached across the table and placed my hand over his. A subtle gesture, but it meant something. "You don't have to have everything figured out at 23, I said. "Heck, I didn't figure it out until I was almost 40. And even now, I still have days where I'm unsure." Nathan looked at me, eyes narrowing slightly. "But you always seemed like you had it together." I chuckled. "That's the trick. We all pretend. I just got better at hiding the panic." He smiled faintly, the corners of his mouth twitching. It was the first real smile I'd seen from him that night. "There's more," he said. "It's about Mom." My chest tightened. "What about her?" "She called last week. Wanted to meet. Said she was sorry for how everything ended. Said she wants to reconnect." I didn't say anything. His mother and I had divorced when he was 9. It had been messy. She had left suddenly, chasing a job and a life in another state. Nathan had stayed with me, and over the years, their relationship had grown distant. She called occasionally. Birthdays. Holidays. But that was about it. I don't know what to do, he admitted. Part of me wants to hear her out. But the other part is still angry. For leaving. For not being there. It's okay to feel both, I said softly. Anger doesn't vanish just because time passes. And forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. Nathan nodded slowly. I just wish I understood why. Sometimes, we never do, I said. But talking to her might give you something, closure, peace, maybe even clarity. Or it might not. Either way, you have the right to choose. He stared down at his hands, knuckles white from gripping the edge of the table. And what if I'm just broken? He whispered. Like, too messed up to ever figure any of this out? My heart ached. I stood, walked around the booth, and sat beside him, wrapping an arm around his shoulder. He didn't resist. In fact, he leaned in. You are not broken, I said firmly. You are human. You're navigating life, and life is messy. Confusing. Overwhelming. But you're doing it. And that takes courage. We sat there for a few moments, the noise of the restaurant fading into the background. I miss when things were simple, he muttered. Like when we'd build Legos for hours or race bikes down the hill. I miss that too, I said. But you know what? Those moments didn't disappear. They just changed shape. Now, they look like late-night talks. Gym sessions. Honest conversations over greasy burgers. He laughed. You're not crying, are you? I'm sweating from the eyes, I joked, wiping my face with a napkin. That laugh lingered. It was real. And in it, I saw the boy he used to be and the man he was becoming, flawed, yes, but growing. Learning. Trying. We finished our food slowly. Talked about the game that weekend. Music. Life. He seemed lighter. Not fixed. But lighter. Outside the diner, as we stood by our cars, Nathan pulled me into a hug. Thanks for being there tonight, he said. I'll always be here, I replied. You're never alone, son. Ever. He nodded, holding on a second longer than usual. As I drove home that night, I realized something. That moment, just him opening up, it meant more than any trophy, paycheck, or gym session. It meant trust. Vulnerability. Growth. And for the first time in a while, I wasn't just proud of the man my son was becoming. I was proud of the father I was still learning to be.